Welcome again to MKS Biovision. Today we'll discuss a very basic chapter of genetics, that is law of inheritance. Actually, law of inheritance was given by Gregor John Mendel on his experiments on pea plant. He published his finding in a paper, Experiments on. Actually, he published his finding in a proceeding of Bonn Society of Natural History in the year 1856. He published his finding in 1856. After many years, the Mendel's law were rediscovered by three scientists. Dievrich, शेरमार्क एंड कार्ल कॉरेंस तीन साइंटिस्ट थे जिन्होंने इसको रीडिस्कवर किया. एक्चुअली मेंडल रिमेन the work of Mendel remained ignored for many years. Nobody was giving the due credit to his work. But after many years, these three scientists independently work on the inheritance and reached the same conclusion that Mendel had reached many years ago. After that, these three scientists have decided to give the credit to Mendel for that discovery. Experiments on hybrid plant was a paper published in Bonn Society of Natural History. And what are the basic things of this experiment? Actually, Mendel did experiments on pea plant. He did experiment on pea plant. In which he found seven pairs of contrasting character, and he made a stock of the parent representing those character. Truly, they are all true breeders. Seven pairs of contrasting character. Suppose one plant is tall and another plant is dwarf. Tall and dwarf. He grew this plant tall and dwarf for many years and found that there is no when they all were true breeders. Tall plant for many years were giving only tall plants, and dwarf plant for many years they were all giving only dwarf plant. After that, he crossed the tall and dwarf, and finally, actually the basic plant of his experiment was crossing two true breeders. Parental stock, parent P1, P2. P1 and P2 were true breeders, pure line, true breeder. True breeding population, and after that F1 generation came, first generation, that is called first filial generation from the hybridization of this truly breeding plant. The F1 were selfed. Self. After selfing of F1 plant, F2 arose. He analyzed F2 plant analysis. Mendel did analysis of F2 plant and reached some conclusion, got some ratio on the basis of which he gave law of inheritance. What happened? He selected 7 pairs of contrasting character in P plant each, and he created a stock of plant. They were all true breeders. They were pure plant. It considered a pair of contrasting character at the same time, and he hybridized parental plants and found that F1 was the process of hybridization, manual hybridization was done. F1 was this is parental generation, here hybridization was done, and F1 selfing, and further F2 plants were analyzed and ratio was obtained. Here he got some kind of ratio. अब हम देखते हैं कि there are 3 laws of inheritance given by Gregor John Mendel. First was law of dominance. Law of dominance. Law of dominance. According to this law, in a diploid organism, each character exists in pair. Each character. Mendel gave a name for the entity that transmits the character. Factor or phenotypic expression. Suppose some plant is tall, some is dwarf, some flower is violet, some is white. But what are the molecules responsible for transmitting those traits from parental generation to their offsprings? Finally, he gave a term. He was not sure what kind of molecule was responsible for transmitting those characters, whether it is a fat molecule, carbohydrate, protein, nucleic acid. He was not sure about the nature of the factor. He simply said there is some factor that exists in pair in a diploid organism. Here you say a diploid organism and factor is existing in pairs. Further he said that each factor can remain present in 2 alternative forms. There are 2 alternative forms of a factor or gene. इस factor को हम gene भी कहते हैं, factor या फिर gene, factor और gene. Later on it was named gene. इस 2 alternative form होते हैं. एक form, ये जो alternative form है इसको हम एलील के नाम से जानते हैं. एलील के नाम से जानते हैं. अब ये देखा गया है कि ये अलग अलग तरह के एलील हैं. इसमें से दोनों जब एक साथ रहता है, when these 2 alleles come together, one allele masks the effect of other. This means when capital A and small a is present, only capital A will be capital express. This is called, in a heterozygous condition only capital A will express. कैपिटल ए जो एक्सप्रेस हो रहा है, दिस इज कॉल्ड डोमिनेंट एलील. डोमिनेंट एलील. द एलील whose effect is most is called recessive allele. Recessive allele. Recessive. So there are three possibility of existing these two alleles in pair. या तो दोनों रिसेसिव एलील एक साथ रहे, कैपिटल ए, या फिर दोनों डोमिनेंट एलील एक साथ हो. There are three possibilities of getting together these two alleles. One is small a when in homozygous condition these recessive alleles come together. Another case is capital A when two dominant allele come together, and third is capital A small a. One capital A small a. When one capital dominant allele, when there is a dominant allele along with recessive allele. These are the three possibilities. अब इस तरह का जो कंडीशन है, इसको हम होमोजाइगस रिसेसिव कहते हैं, इसको हम होमोजाइगस डोमिनेंट कहते हैं, और इसको हम हेटेरोजाइगस डोमिनेंट कहते हैं. ये जो दोनों कंडीशन है, इसका फिनोटाइप सेम फिनोटाइप होगा. सेम फिनोटाइप, सेम फिनोटाइप होगा. तो जब ये सेम फिनोटाइप होगा और ये क्या होगा, रिसेसिव होगा. सेकेंड लॉ ऑफ मेंडल इज लॉ ऑफ सेग्रीगेशन. लॉ ऑफ सेग्रीगेशन. Segregation occurs at the time of meiosis. There are a pair of factors. These factors get separated at the time of meiosis. Meiosis, at the time of meiosis. In gametes, in gametes only one kind of factor will be present, but in somatic cells there are a pair of factors. One is dominant, another is recessive. But in somatic cells, but in gametes, a gamete will contain only either a dominant allele or a recessive allele. This is the case of heterozygous condition. If homozygous condition is taken, it produces only one kind of gamete. 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 This is law of segregation. Law of segregation says that a pair of characters present in the somatic cell get separated at the time of gametogenesis. Separation at the time of gametogenesis. Gametogenesis. That involves meiosis. Since in gamete there is only one factor, we can say that gametes are always pure. That is why we call law of segregation, we also call this law purity of gametes. Purity of gametes. Gametes are always pure. There is no blending of traits in gamete. Gametes are always pure. This is the law of segregation. Third law is law of independent assortment. This law says that when we take a pair of characters in consideration, characters suppose round and wrinkled and yellow and green. This is round and wrinkled shape of seed, and this is yellow and green is color of seed. If we take any two traits together, we consider two traits for our experiments. This experiment is called dihybrid cross. Law of dominance and law of segregation can be explained on the basis of monohybrid cross. We can explain on the basis of monohybrid cross, but law of independent assortment can be two traits for consideration, two or more than two. According to this law, each trait gets segregated independently from each other. Each trait, suppose round, as I have seen here, round yellow, wrinkled green, F1, F2, nine is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Round yellow, round green, wrinkled yellow, wrinkled green. In dihybrid cross, we see the ratio is 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. 9 is round and yellow, 3 is round and green, again 3 is wrinkled and yellow, and 1 is wrinkled and green. We can make a checkerboard or Punnett square to explain this. Law of independent says that these round and wrinkled is a monohybrid cross. Round and wrinkled here we have taken two characters, round, wrinkled. Law of independent assortment says that this is the dihybrid cross. In dihybrid cross, we have selected two traits for our experiment: round yellow, round seed and yellow colored seed, and here wrinkled seed and green colored seed. And we have got the ratio 9:3:3:1. Dihybrid cross is nothing but a superficial combination of monohybrid cross. Here we find that the two traits have been separated and the ratio is 3:1 here, and here also 3:1. If we combine 3:1 ratio of one monohybrid cross and 3:1 ratio of another monohybrid cross, and we if multiply these two ratio, then we get this ratio 9:3:3:1. This is also 3:1 and this is 3:1. This shows that independent assortment, according to independent assortment, this is the dihybrid cross or trihybrid cross are nothing but superficial combinations of monohybrid crosses. Okay, thank you.